What is up, everybody? I hope you are having a fantastic... What is it, Friday?
I think it's Friday.
Friday?
It's Friday, right?
Hey, Gus.
Someone tell us what day it is.
This is Aimee Cake. And she's joining me tonight. We're going to do a really fun thing tonight that has to do with new music and other cool things.
We think it's fun.
It's like a terrible lead-in.
It's not the worst thing that I've ever heard, right?
Well,
but like,
get a little closer.
maybe right here.
I was just finishing up the live stream from last night. My phone died 10 minutes in. But, I remember you from Natchez, Natalie. You come to all the varsity shows. A duet, finally. We're not doing a duet tonight, are we?
I mean, I'm not prepared.
I could sing them my Aimee Cake and Andy Ford theme song.
Please, you have to.
Hand me the guitar.
I'm very little. I think you overestimate my arm, my wingspan.
You guys want to hear me and Amy's theme song?
It really should be Lizzo, though. Good call, Carmen.
Aimee Cake and Andy Ford doing weird shit so you don't get bored. Thank you.
He came into the bedroom playing that. I've got a song.
I wrote it.
I wrote it.
This is our theme song. What do you guys think? It's a pretty awesome theme song, if you ask me.
It's a song.
Gus said it's perfect. Thank you guys for joining us on Friday evening of the quarantine. I don't know why. The music was still playing. Can you guys hear us okay? Give us some thumbs up
Check,
emojis
check.
if you can hear us all right in the chat.
One of my favorite things that I did today was checking, like a mic check, because I've never had to do that before. And this dude does it like it's his job, because at what point it was, occasionally is. It is the most awkward thing humanly possible to have someone sit next to you, stone still, as you say check.
Check. It doesn't ever get cooler.
It doesn't.
So, like, even when you have to sound check every night on the road, you like every singer, every person who has a microphone has like their own like little like cutesy check thing.
Okay.
Right.
I've
And
heard
it
yours,
evolves. Mine's
but I
the
want you to-
push it real good.
These are the things we hear, friends. But also you yell it like super loud.
Well, yeah. Because when I sing, I project very loudly.
You do.
And so to check the microphone for live purposes, you've got to give your engineer, your sound guy, the exact level at which you're going to be pushing, so that they can properly mix it.
Right. So I understand that. But also my only, like, my favorite sound check thing would be the Tom Hanks thing from Wayne's World, where he's like right up on the mic and it's check, check, syphilis, check.
Syphilis.
It took everything in my power not to do that.
Derek Langer said, speaking of sound check, tell the 30 Seconds to Mars sound check story.
Is there a story?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to like punch you in the face because Zach doesn't want you to hate on 30 Seconds to Mars.
Really?
I got you, Zach.
She's got you covered. It's not necessarily like a hate on 30 Seconds to Mars story at all. We opened for them a handful of times. A couple times where I was at the Varsity here in Baton Rouge, and there was one time specifically, this story is that Varsity Theater, usually doors open at like 8 o'clock, right? So sound check for bands usually starts around 4 or 5, depending on how many bands. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure it was just them and us that night. There may have been a third like local opener or something like that, but I think it was just the two of us. Anyways, we pull up to the back of the Varsity. They're the headliner, so they're going to sound check first. So they start sound checking at 5. They're like, you guys get here at like 6:30. around that time they'll be done with their sound check, and you guys can start loading your gear in, set it up in front of their stuff, and start sound checking your shit. So we get there at like 6:30, and it's kind of starting to like drizzle. So there was this whole thing that like for like 6 years, anytime Merriweather played at the varsity, it would rain that day. Every single time for like 6 years.
Okay.
Or if we played anywhere in Louisiana, it would rain. So it's starting to rain. It's like 6:30. They're still sound checking. So like we go through the back door, the one on the left when you're walking into the building, and just kind of like go down into like the floor where like everybody stands and stuff for the show. And we kind of go back to the bar. We get a water or whatever. And we're just kind of hanging out, just letting them do their thing. And at one point, like they stop, like dead stop. And Jared Leto yells something out. And he's like, that guy keeps talking. You guys got to get out of here. And it was like Steve just sitting there like smoking a cigarette, texting on his cell phone or something like that. And mind you, it's like raining. So they kick us out of the varsity while they're sound checking. And we've got to go stand under like a 5 foot by 5 foot like pergola overhang thing with all of our gear and everything for another hour basically until they say we can come in and sound check, which was basically at like 8 o'clock. So we're sound checking as doors are opening, which is like kind of lame.
It's not ideal.
But after that,
haha, Carmen.
that doesn't sound like very Merriweather. Jesus. Carmen.
That's my family.
Just busting them dad jokes. You're not even a dad yet, man. And you're like nailing the dad jokes.
He's like low-key got like some Dockers and some like New Balance on with the socks. Little ankle socks.
They were cool to us though the rest of the night after that. I guess it was just a thing, you know? Like whatever.
That's a bummer. That's not fun.
It was fine. He pulled me up on stage when they were singing and like would do this like he'd sing like a whoa and like hand the microphone out to the or point it at the crowd to get them to repeat it, and then like he'd put it in my face and I'd do like a whoa and whatever. And so like it started to become like a battle between us to see who could like hit the higher note and stuff. It was dumb.
Who hit the higher note?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Of course you did. Aw, yay. Well. There was that story.
That's that story. So
on demand. White T jorts and New Balance. I love you, Carmen.
So this is what we're gonna do tonight. This is why the
First of
lovely.
all-
Go ahead, interrupt me one more time, please.
First of all, I'm your girlfriend.
Of course, that's what I was about to say.
Okay. You can say that now.
I'm never coming back. So today, Friday of March the something, my girlfriend Aimee Cake is joining me because we're gonna play a game. This game doesn't really have a name. It's something I kind of made up on my own. It used to, I've always kind of just called it the Spotify game. A while back, my business partner Lance and a buddy of ours, Matt, tried to we were talking about making this into a podcast. It was just super fun. We did it a couple times. The distance between us, we were like living in different states, made it a little difficult technology wise, and we kind of never overcame that like technical gap. But so this is how this works, right? Fridays is when new music comes out. Pretty much for the most part, like 99% of the time that there's like a new album that is released, it's on Fridays. Movies are Tuesdays, music is Fridays.
Right.
I love Aimee. Can we keep her? Yes, I'm hoping that we get to keep her.
Working on it.
So
unless they get a better offer.
So the way that this game works is you pull up Spotify, right? You go browse, new releases. These are all the new releases that came out today. They're singles, they're like full albums, right? And some of these people I recognize, like I know who Childish Gambino is. I know who 9 Inch Nails is. I know who One Republic is. I know who Pearl Jam is.
Sometimes you wish you didn't.
Well, I mean, they've got a new album out. I wish them well. I won't listen to it. But good job, guys. You did it.
Still doing it.
Congratulations. Anyways, so the way this game works is you kind of just ask each other. So like earlier we tried it out and this is how it went, right? So you see this This guy right here, right? This is an artist named Trevor Daniel. Trevor Daniel. So here's the thing. The artist's name plays a very big role in your decision making, right? Like Trevor Daniel is probably going to sound different than Party Next Door.
Yeah. In theory.
Probably.
Music is very strange now.
What's up, Dan Brown? So what you do is you open Nicotine. I see that's like it's an album. And so earlier today I asked Aimee, like, what do you think this is going to sound like? Based off of the guy's name, the name of the album artwork, as you guys can see, and it might be small if you're on your phone. It's like him laying down on a bed of like vibrant color flowers that are likely fake. He's got like a floral pattern shirt that's open.
Maybe they had a good budget though. Maybe they are real flowers.
They might be. You never know. He's upside down. It's far away. It looks like he's probably a handsome fellow.
Possibly. I have no idea. It
looks like he's young. He's definitely got great skin and very bright red lips. But here's the kicker for me is that there's a parental advisory sticker.
There is a parental advisory.
So earlier when we were trying this out, explain to them what you guessed this would sound like.
I went for chill wave, but also I think this is important is looking at the number of tracks, but the length of the total album. 25 minutes is pretty short per song. Like everything's like less than 3 minutes.
So this is good. I want you guys to like give us your input on these as we pull them up. Zach said whiny. Gus said moody. Zach said his parents don't love him. Cheaper to go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby for the flowers. You're absolutely right, Dan Brown. So generally, if it's like an album, I play the second track because sometimes the first track is like a long intro. The artist is being like artsy or whatever. Frat boy Post Malone is what Derek Landry said. And you're absolutely right, Derek Landry.
And so this is the final part of the game.
I'll love you through the highs and through the lows, so you can call me whenever about whatever.
So this is the point at which I was like, man, actually, I like that bass tone. I think the dude's got a cool voice. It's catchy. It's kind of like dark sounding, right? And then we kept listening.
I'm in for you for the rest of forever. A lifetime with you doesn't seem that long. I'm lovesick, got an illness. If we don't make it work, positive is gonna kill me. Okay, it's gonna be alright. No plan of eyes can divide you and I. No coupe if it's two inside. Let's go.
Who would have guessed?
Who knew?
Frat Boy Post Malone was on point.
Precisely.
That's the thing, though, Dan Brown. I'm with you. I dig it. I think it's pretty rad. But this was Aimee's actual response.
Oh, gosh. Do you have that? You do not have that pulled up. This is me without eyeliner.
That's definitely more hip hop.
Nothing sounds like it.
So it's definitely this dude wants to be Post Malone really bad. Is what I'm hearing.
Okay. Who is Post Malone again?
This woman said, who is Post Malone again?
I've never heard any of his music.
You know who loves Post Malone? Zach Woodring loves Post Malone.
I bet he does.
Like, sent me a thing. I sent him a record to listen to a while back, Fever 333, which is like a bunch of guys from a bunch of different hardcore bands that I like. And it's like this electronic hardcore stuff. It's really rad. And it's like right up his alley. And I sent it to him and he was like, don't really dig it, but have you heard the new Post Malone? So yeah, this is the game, guys. You guys want to play along with us? This is what we're going to do tonight. We're going to run through all of these new guys on Spotify. There's some interesting artwork. I'm always like pulled towards interesting artwork.
Well, because that's part of the game though.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the cover of a book, album art. There's a lot going on there.
Detective Zach, yes. Christy Trahan Griffin, yes.
I love it. I know that he has like
I like Post Malone like I like Coors Light. You mean you like Post Malone like you like drinking penny water?
Penny water. Oh my gosh.
I think I can have a great night with it.
Penny water. That's the most accurate description like ever.
And Crocs. Hold up.
Oh, wait.
Hold up. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Crocs if you wear them around the house, and only if you're going to stay in the car. Like if you're going through a drive-through, Crocs are fine because no one has to see them.
Mind you, these are my rules for Crocs. Mine. Because you may or may not have discovered Crocs like 6 months ago. 6-ish.
I don't know. It might have been longer. Penny Water. Carmen knows. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Post Malone loves him some Crocs too.
Post Malone has multiple editions, limited edition Crocs. He has his own. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Crocs, but they have the little plastic thingies that you can stick in the holes in Crocs called, wait for it, gibbets.
Not to be confused with aglet.
Aglet, which is the little plastic end at the end of a shoelace. You're welcome. You learned something today.
You're welcome.
You might not have gone to work or put on pants, but you learned what an aglet is.
And what's the other one?
Gibbet.
A gibbet.
Gibbets.
I was about to say
Z.
jiglet.
Yeah, but he has
gibbet.
his own like custom ones to further customize his custom Crocs.
Can I friend everyone on this thread right now? I agree with everyone.
Let's all be friends. Yay.
Ryan DeLont Squatch. Kentucky. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Kentucky Dale. Giblets. So this is what we're going to do tonight. Stick around. So who's going to go first? Ladies first? I want to ask you one.
Okay.
All right.
Then ask me one.
Okay. I'm going to scroll through here and find one that I think is going to be like a really tough one.
I feel like it's interesting because a lot of interesting things are happening in graphic design, obviously, as well.
I'm going to turn you up. Hey, guys, am I much louder than Aimee is?
I have pants on.
What up, Jim? Naked Jim in the house.
I have pants all the way up here. I have mama pants on.
So real quick before we start, guys, do I need to turn her up?
Thumbs up is sufficient. Are we doing requests? Oh my gosh, I love this.
She's just nicer than you. This is true. This is absolutely true.
It depends on the subject and who I'm talking to.
Carmen said no, but now I forgot how I asked the question. It was like, do I need to turn her up? No. Okay.
Volume wise.
I can see the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
cool.
fine. We fine. All right, y'all. Here we go.
Check. Syphilis.
This is the Spotify game with Aimee Cake and Andy Ford. We do weird shit.
To keep you from getting bored.
Yes, it's going to catch on. All right, here we go. I'm going to ask you, what do you think this is going to sound like? And I want to describe it to you guys.
Oh, no.
The name of the artist is Cave Town, and the name of the album and or single is Sleepyhead. So it's an album. All right.
And they spell pajama pants with a Y.
They spelled
Nope.
pajama pants with a Y. So, what do you think this is going to sound like? Oh, let me describe the artwork, by the way. It is what's that painting style? Impressionistic painting of an orange cat laying on a white pillow.
I believe it's a tabby.
With a reddish blanket over him, and it looks like he is like outside or maybe sleeping under the starry night.
Is that what you see?
Yeah.
It's impressionism, I guess so. Radiohead for millennials. I love where you're going with this, Natalie. This is the best. Xanax with a GED. Oh my gosh.
Metalcore.
I want that to be my artist description.
Naked Jim said props on the Rush shirt.
Thank you. I was raised right. So I have lots of thoughts about this. The first thing is sad.
Okay.
This might sound sad, but it could also be like the opposite. They could be playing with us, but they did. Okay, so Rondalon said that he noted that there are 11 songs in 38 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Has a really long track there.
Not really.
It's longer
For pop.
It
for
is.
like radio, yeah.
It is. I don't know. It's Sweet Tooth for You, February 14th. It sounds girly.
So you think it's a female vocalist?
Maybe. things that make it warm. I don't know. In my head, it's like it's too on the nose, but it's like cat lady shit. So I don't know. Boring.
All right. This is.
I'm not good at this game. I'm not a musician.
You just need to like get to it quicker. This is the song For You off of Cave Town's new album entitled Sleepyhead. Let's see what it sounds like.
Yep, sad. Can confirm. Here, catch up. There we go. See, it got dark. It turned a corner. That's what she said.
Sweet tooth for you, I'm wide awake. The sugar went straight to my brain. Feel like a kid at my chest with my fist. I like it, say it back.
That's actually really good.
That's not bad. But who was the one I want to
I
give?
think it was Natalie that said Radiohead for millennials. And
Yeah.
I totally agree that that's got a Radiohead vibe because it still has like an old school Weezer vibe to me as well. Who had Ghost meets Brett in it. They are great harmonies. I agree with you stuff.
Brett
I actually like that.
Dennen.
So this is like what's
I like
really
the
great about
choral
this game
shit.
is I started playing this game with myself basically at work when I would be bored on Fridays, like years and years ago. But I've also like discovered some really killer bands doing this. Like
Sure, I would listen to another track. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like I'm not saying we're gonna right now, but it's enough for me. Like I'm curious.
yeah.
Alexa, please leave me. See, Sleepyhead makes me think of Passion Pit, and I love Passion Pit.
All right, your turn.
Okay.
Man the wheel.
Oh, well, I'll man it. Okay, so what am I doing at this point?
You're picking one to ask me what I think it sounds like.
Well, these.
You've got to describe the artwork.
Okay. Well, this one is intriguing. I don't know. Hold on. Okay, no, I'm gonna go back to my original choice. Is this too? What am I describing? The actual artwork.
Yeah.
This, we're gonna require glasses. Okay, so it looks like.
Gus said, "AK, oh wow, man."
It looks like Satan worship of some variety, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a little creepy. And perhaps roots? Am I seeing a root system?
Yeah, there's like some sort of a being under the root system, and the roots are coming up, wrapping around what looks like an apparition or like a female figure with the sheet over her body with other female figures with sheets.
Correct.
Over their bodies,
Yeah,
but
that.
she has like a crown.
So she would be like the queen mother
Yeah,
or some shit?
probably.
Probably.
I feel like I've heard of this band before. I want to say that like this is like a post-hardcore,
Yeah.
metal band. And then I look down at like We Will Rock You, featuring Maria Brink, Lizzie Hale, and Taylor Momsen. And I know who like Lizzie Hale and Taylor Momsen
I know
are.
who Taylor Momsen is. Yeah.
But like, I don't think that a metal band would have a song called We Will Rock You. So I think that it's metal, and I think that it's female fronted.
Mother. Okay. Prog metal. I'm willing to believe that.
All right, let's see. We're going to play track 2, Fly Like an Eagle by In This Moment's new album, Mother. So I was right. It's not bad. She's got a good voice.
Good for them. As my hero, Alex Trebek
Christy
says.
Trahan Griffin. Christy Griff said, good cover, man. You're fired. Oh, was I supposed to know who that is? It looks like it's all covers stuff. Yeah.
The in-between. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it is all covers. Look at the rest of their stuff.
So full disclosure, I haven't like listened to the radio in a minute. And like for a long time, I had a pretty healthy suspicion, like hipster suspicion of like new music. So this is particularly jarring for me. It's going to be fun.
Jeffrey Buck sent me a text that said, I'm watching you.
Oh, that's creepy.
Okay, my turn.
Okay.
I get to ask you now.
I'm bad at this game. Does everyone agree?
No one's good at this game. I am 99% of the time wrong. This is one.
It's hard not to gravitate towards that one.
It is. So, Margaret Glaspie.
Yeah.
Devotion. It's an album.
Uh-huh.
The artwork is her in like a gown. Is that a gown?
It looks like a prom dress.
It looks like something you'd wear to an opera.
Okay.
Right? And there's like red curtains behind her as if she's at an opera. Mm-hmm. It's got this like super trendy type. It's like oversized, kind of like Chobani branding-esque, but like with harder, slanted serifs.
Yeah, it's more Eastern looking.
And then like this is clearly the same font, which I think is a very poor choice. But yeah, it's 12 songs, 41 minutes.
Halsey at church. I love this.
So what do you think?
I think
don't overthink it. Just your natural instinct.
like alt classical.
Alt classical.
Yeah.
Name me an alt classical band that I would know.
Evanescence.
Evanescence
that
is
vocal.
alt classical.
The vocal, strictly the vocal, like high church.
Okay,
but
vocal,
like
sure, but music.
I'm the alt part of that.
Okay, give me an example.
So
of
like
the alt part of that.
I don't know, like a twist on it. I don't know.
Okay.
Someone help.
This is supposed to be your opinion. That's what the game is.
Yeah, but like, but Drew, what about the kerning?
The kerning.
It's my favorite comment of the night.
The kerning's not bad.
Bjork meets Lisa Loeb. Knock off Adele. Margaret did great in middle schools.
All right.
I'm excited.
This is Without Him off of Margaret Glaspie's new album, Devotion.
Nothing. Okay. So, Jaleel.
We fly high, sink low, between the ups and downs, bask in the glow of working hard and try to let go. Have our fun when the work is done. Close up or at a distance, I'll take the path of the most and the least resistance.
Cassidy. Oh, she cute. Yeah. Oh is also my reaction.
Yeah, I'm with you. Not what I was expecting. Since she's got a good voice, it's like for me that sounds like 80s.
It's
mixed
like
with
Haim.
singer-songwriter mixed with like indie pop.
It's like Haim.
Zach said I'm confused. Not bad, but that sounds like the bass line for Take My Breath Away.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't listening too closely on the headphones. I don't have it set up yet with the other set of headphones. I don't have the headphone amp plugged in, so we can't be sharing headphones, which is a
it's charming.
huge
this
mistake.
Time.
So it's charming.
It's charming.
That's what we keep
Trust
saying.
me.
Like my lack
we did it
of
this
technical
way.
skills is charming.
We did it this
It's
way
cute.
on purpose.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, it's precious. It's lovable. Oh. But also my other observation would be that this is like kind of a typical millennial female, like wearing mom's old clothes because it's like cute and hip and like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, look how earnest I am.
Right.
Yeah. But like in a good way. I don't mean that to be like, meh.
I didn't mind it. I'm not going to listen to it
No,
again,
there is no
but-
such thing as genre anymore. That's the
Right.
hard part of this game.
Yeah, it is. So, your turn.
Okay.
Man it.
I'm a man it. Oh, I'm a man it. Yeah, she's cool. Y'all can be cute together with Rona. But like we live together.
Yeah, we've been in
Like-
the same building for the last 2 weeks
For
by
a
ourselves.
long time.
Oh no, don't do that one.
Yes!
Okay, hold up. Real quick. This text,
It's perfect.
is this font the same font
It's not. It's not.
as
at
this font?
all.
Ah!
It's not. Yeah, same, Dan Brown.
Okay, look at the G.
I can't see anything.
Okay, well, I
can see shapes and colors.
And then look at this G. I'm telling you, Gus, back me up. This one has a big serif at the top. No, it's different,
Thank
but it's
you.
very similar.
It's got a vibe.
What I like about this
It is like
artwork
70s album artwork.
is the retro vibe to it. Like it makes me think of The Sound of Music.
Any singer-songwriter from the 1970s, Joan Baez, Joan Collins, anybody.
They pulled that from that font.
It's so close, Cassidy says. So she's validating your hunch.
Sure. 9 songs, 40 minutes. All the songs are relatively long. And looking at the names of the tracks,
Yeah, okay.
it's
That's not fair.
definitely contemporary Christian music.
Simon and Garfunkel, thank you, Cassidy. And Christine.
That's
Yeah,
what
it's
I'm
the
gonna say.
exact same colorway. I swear. I can't use my phone right now because I'm like gonna behave myself. Just any British female, Derek.
It's your company I long to
It sounds
keep.
like Christian music right now.
Your presence here, the dearest thing. Though I am not what I've seen, long.
No, same thing.
Yeah. I mean, she's got a good voice. It sounds like it's well produced. But I was 100% correct. That is contemporary Christian music.
Visco, but with Jesus, yes.
What with Jesus? Midge and
Featuring
Eat.
Jesus. The Jesus filter.
I want to do a hard one for you, even though you're terrible at this.
That's what she said.
I just want to make it like.
Can't we just
even-
listen to No Effects? New dirty projectors.
I'm down to like jam on stuff that we're also interested in listening to.
I'm so excited.
Do you know who Little Dragon is?
I don't.
Okay.
Do you know who Little
No.
Dragon is?
No clue. I mean, I'm sure if I listen to like the number one song on their page, I might recognize it. But I don't want to go there because you might recognize the name of the song or something like that. So
Right. No, I recognize
the
nothing.
artwork is lots of like different size, shapes, and colors, like geometric shapes all mashed into one, like blob, and a bunch of like random stuff at the bottom.
Yes, you can submit a link.
Can we submit a link? Absolutely.
Please do.
Submit a link for sure.
Yes.
He's the son of Daddy Dragon. Dan Brand, I'm a little nervous of what you would send over here. So go ahead. Take a crack.
Okay, first describe what you see.
I just did. It's like
The album art?
yeah.
When did you describe
I said
that?
it's a bunch of different size and shape, geometric shapes, different size and color geometric shapes, all mashed together in one big blob with some random stuff at the bottom and like
Got it. Okay.
gradient speckles in the background. There's no text on it unless like they made up their own language and these shapes mean different things.
Which is like some next level J.R.
It'd be like some
Tolkien.
Sigur Rós type stuff.
Yeah.
Sigur Rós.
Also, did anyone else see that and think like Rubik's Cube? For
No.
whatever reason, I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
literally just you.
Are they related to the Imagine ones? Okay, with song titles like Hold On, Rush, and Another Lover.
Kids.
New fiction, sadness. Are you feeling sad?
Oh yeah, right after each other. That's the right move.
This is some millennial bullshit.
So you think it's like super hipster indie?
Maybe the songs. Most of the songs are pretty long, comparatively. So they could just meander forever. Wait, and there are two. It's a double.
No, it's only got one song
it's
at
just
the
the
end.
one. Oh, well, that's lame. Oh, so it's just like the and
It's
here's
like
the
it's a
bonus.
remix. It's a remix of this song.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think
see
it's gonna
that.
sound like? Let's go.
That one?
No, this artist, this album.
I don't know. Drew, move your video thumbnail to the top right. We can't see the track list. Jonas Brothers after a meth binge. Okay. Cassidy's saying nerdy poppy rap, and I am concurring. Got it. Poppy rap.
Nerdy poppy rap. All right. This is Rush from the artist Little Dragon's new album, New Me, Same Us.
Yeah, it's all chill wave. The answer's always chill. Yeah, we're
With me, every time you say I got what I wanted.
that's the cover.
I've been lying on the board.
I am a fan of that.
I would listen to it more than once. But what do you call
This is
that?
Little Dragon. Interesting. I don't know what you call that. That's like progressive instrumental jazz hip hop pop.
Uh-huh. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, no.
Hip hop pop?
Hip hop pop.
Can you say hip hop?
Hip hop
Who?
anonymous.
Hip hopopotamus.
I thought it was cool. That was
What do y'all think?
that was a surprise.
I feel like you're shopping in Hollister. That is such
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
1,000%. I feel that.
Squatch DMI from Twitch said to pitch Twitch more. It's a great platform. It is. I will say this much about the difference between the stream quality on Facebook Live and Twitch is much better on Twitch, and there's not a lot of lag. I think that the fact of the matter is that there's just more people on Facebook, you know. But I've got it all set up basically to go to both places at once. So
He nerded out real hard. It's pretty cool.
basically a genius. All right, your turn. Do
Guys,
your
he's
worst.
getting so frustrated with me. I'm not good.
What time is it? Oh, no, we can go all night long. That's what she said.
Is it what she said?
I don't know.
Okay, let's see.
Scroll down. Go back to these
I
messages
will.
and
I
scroll
will.
down.
I will.
But be saying that shit, Mo, bro. I will. I will definitely say
Hip-Hop
that shit, Mo.
Anonymous. Oh, FKA Twigs is a really good comparison to draw.
Yeah?
This shit. Figure it out.
Oh, but this came out last week, and I
And you
already
already
know
know?
what this
Okay,
sounds
well,
like.
that's not
but
fair.
also, like, look
I
at
do have the power to make him listen to Pearl Jam.
No, not if you want to live here anymore.
All my stuff's here. You'll never get rid. Plus, I already put,
So
like...
this is... Weekend is the beginning of last week's.
Okay, that's the beginning of last
go
week. So up.
Everything
Okay.
above that
Got it.
is the new stuff.
Okay. Okay. Do we want to venture into Dan Brown territory?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, let me see.
You're going to be the one to be in charge?
Well, that's what I was saying. It's going to open here.
Fueled by ramen. This could go places.
Let me pull this over here. Okay. Nothing Nowhere. I've heard that name before. Ruiner.
First of all, it's fueled by ramen, so I already feel like I have a pretty good idea of what they sound like.
You think like, what do you think?
Post pop punk.
Like? Post pop punk.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of explicit.
Yeah. And
One
it's all
word.
lowercase.
All lowercase. All one word.
And angsty 90s child.
Yeah.
Doing what? Is it pulling on its little face? Why?
No, it's got like a bag or something over its face.
Oh, well, that's terrible too. It's Moody Gray. It is Moody Gray.
Weekend cover is awesome, by the way. All right, Dan Brown. Dan Brown, is this your stuff? I want to know. Noodles?
Noodles. I hate that word so
It's
much.
Moody Gray. It is Dan Brown stuff. All right, we're going to listen. This is, I think you sent specifically the song Hammer. Is that right?
Weezer.
Weezer plus Highly Suspect. Chad Rock. All right. This is the song Hammer by the artist Nothing Nowhere on their album Ruiner
From 2018.
from 2018 on Fueled by Ramen.
I did it all on my own, no promo. I got fans getting tags on my logo. I remember when nobody came to my shows, but I kept on coming back like a yo-yo. In high school, they would laugh, try to label. Eating lunch with nobody at my table. Everyone I used to doubt got a day job. I just made a few stacks off a merch drop. It's about time that they go and take me serious. If you not feeling this, you probably delirious. I'm on one, yes I'm on one. They can never be me, cause I'm the reaper in your dreams, cause it's about time they try to clout for surprise.
I hate it. Stop. Why did you stop?
Well, so they could hear us talk about it, because if I hit play,
okay.
they can't hear us talk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ow.
It was definitely not what I was expecting.
It is not at all what I was
Not at
expecting. I was
all.
ready for some starting line stuff. That's really cool. I liked it.
It was good.
I 1000% had that sweatshirt. That's in a closet somewhere at my parents' house right now.
And it still fits you.
Maybe.
Do I know Volbeat? Yes, I know Volbeat. Do you know Volbeat?
I don't. Just assume that I do not.
Okay.
It gives me the opportunity to surprise you when I know
Then you
weird
got
stuff.
to guess what it sounds like.
The hair says enough.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
It's actually not what you would expect. It's it sounds more like Old Sabbath.
Counting all the assholes in the room. Well, I'm definitely not alone. Well, I'm
Zach said, "Kate, let's talk later." Squatch, you can have Twitch all to yourself, buddy.
Just for you.
Just for you. I love you too. That's an old song. I know that's an old song. All right.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Very interesting.
But it reminded me of the Kaiser Chiefs. I love the Kaiser Chiefs.
So, real quick, let's talk about some of these that we know of that we're excited to listen to that came out. I personally am very stoked about digging into 9 Inch Nails just out of nowhere released 2 full albums.
That's wild.
Right?
Why they did that though?
Because people are stuck at home and they're like, "Here, check this out." Then.
But yeah, because everybody's been releasing everything.
But
yeah.
Trent Reznor's always been very unique about how he releases stuff. You
Yeah.
know, there was one time where for every time somebody used, this was when social media was getting bigger and hashtags were starting to become a thing. Mm-hmm. Every time somebody would use a specific hashtag on social media, it would, on this specific website, the website was just a black screen. And every time someone used that specific hashtag, it would turn on 1 pixel.
Oh, weird.
And so after so long, and so after so many people use the hashtag, it revealed the album artwork and title and release date and stuff like that.
That's wild. That's like Rube Goldberg.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the ADHD Joyner Lucas stuff is visually intriguing.
Where do you see this? Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
it's like, it kind of reminds me like college, like graphic art or graphic design project.
Sure, that like photo overlay.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's also cool.
Gus said she loves Joyner. I'm interested in this because my buddy Jason Martin sent me and Brent, who was with me last night, a track that these guys released. And I was I don't remember which one it was. I was very surprised at like how good it was.
Shout out to the old me and everything he showed me. Glad you didn't listen when the world was trying to slow me. No one could control me. Left my lovers lonely. Had to fuck it up before I really got to know me. Never and not alone. Anywhere you wanna go. Woke up in the morning wearing someone else's clothes. Pictures in my phone with people I don't know. Woke up in the morning, how the hell did I make it home?
So yeah, that was.
It's got like a little groove.
So that, I guess this is like the album. So a lot of people are saying that Joyner Lucas is really good. Let's check this out.
Okay. Which one should we listen to?
They said the song Will is about Will Smith. Youngblood is a good song, but that's not off this album. We're talking about like stuff that came out today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do the song Will.
Okay.
I think I'm a prince, I'm feeling myself. I'm loaded with bills, cause I wasn't blessed with no Uncle Phil. Don't know how it feels. I wanted to flex, they told me to chill. I'm making a flip, my life is a flick, I'm loaded up the film. I got me some paper, hired a butler and got me a waiter. I wanna get married, but none of my shorties remind me of Jada. Or maybe I'm just too afraid to settle, I wish I was planning it different. I think it's a phase, I'm very conditioned, I'm stuck in my ways. I'm scared of commitment, I'm very conflicted. I got the drip and I'm saucy, ooh. ADHD, I'm a bad boy, I think I might just pull up in the rock.
Analogy. It's gonna be the entire song.
I love that.
That's fun.
Dan Brown said the video is awesome. Is that the video for Will? Gotta watch the video. It makes it so much better. Okay, we're gonna watch the video tonight. Very cool. What else came out? Childish Gambino. I listened to that whole thing in the bathtub.
Did you?
It's great.
That was your self-care?
That was my self-care.
Gala, man, that knows how to take care of himself.
I used to love One Republic. Ryan Tedder is an amazing songwriter. And I learned about him before One Republic like was a thing. He was like writing hooks and stuff for like Dr. Dre and Jay-Z, and then like writing songs for all these other. There's like a period of time where like kind of like how Pharrell was in like the early 2000s, where like it was something crazy. Like 65% of the songs that were on the radio he wrote or produced.
Right.
That's kind of how Ryan Tedder was like I guess like mid 2000s. And then the One Republic stuff came out, and it's always been catchy. But it kind of did, for me, it did like that Imagine Dragons thing where like it starts to become corporate. And it's like, well, we could just keep writing songs that are going to be picked up for, you know, big movie publishing stuff. And like, shit, that's what I want to be doing, you know?
I'm not mad. I wouldn't hate it.
I'll probably listen to it.
It also fits your aesthetic.
Probably. Are you talking about the colors?
Yeah. Yeah.
They got good colors.
Like, put it right next to us. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it could just be our background now. And it's like it's one of the little Greek statue things that everybody in graphic design
reference
later.
Our shirts are off, Michael said. Our kids won't wear clothes lately.
I put one on to come on here.
Bright Eyes, that could be interesting.
I
haven't listened to Bright Eyes in forever. This. I listened to this earlier, and
raise your hand if you have listened to it.
Oh my God.
Because I want to give this as a gift to all of you.
I've been so excited about this new Run the Jewels album for like more reasons than none, than most, or whatever the phrase is. I'm terrible at that stuff, but one, I love Run the Jewels. Two, I saw them with my buddy Matt in Las Vegas like a few years ago while we were at a conference, and it was one of the best shows I've ever been to. Three, I listened to an interview they did on the Broken Record podcast with Rick Rubin, who's one of my favorite producers of all time, one of the greatest producers of all time. I mean, the dude pretty much invented hip hop.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
shockingly.
White dude from New York started Def Jam Records in his dorm room.
College dorm room.
Right? At NYU. And like was taking tests, and then that night would go and be like, he'd be the DJ for, he was an original Beastie Boys. Like,
right.
He was like on stage, Madison Square Garden, DJing for the Beastie Boys, and then went and took a test the next day, all while like creating Def Jam in his dorm. Insane, right?
Wild.
So it always means for me, anytime he does anything with anything that's like rap, hip hop, whatever, it's always going to be good. He did the Tyler, the Creator record. He did the Mac Miller record.
Right.
Like, so the fact that they're interviewing with him before the album releases makes me think that he did it. And it would be the perfect like point in their career to have like that happen.
Yeah.
And that makes me think it's going to be amazing. I've heard 2 songs off it. There was this one. What was the other one?
Bump it.
Yankee and the Brave. Where's Yankee and the Brave?
It's in that one.
It's all part of that one?
I think so.
No, it's not. But you're welcome if you haven't heard this yet.
Hey. Ooh la la, ah wee wee. Ooh la la, ah wee wee. Hey. Ooh la la, ah wee wee. Hey. Ooh la la, ah wee wee. 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 Ooh la la. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Jump out of my bed like where the bread. You go hold the egg. Waiter bring the check. When we talk, we Kalishnikov. Keep us in your thoughts. Fully dressed at the crack of dawn. Weapons heading off. I can hear them from the block. See them.
President all day, every day.
Yes, Killer Mike for president. 100% all day.
Cassidy. Oh,
oh shit. I also love like the artwork. Like you have this like really well composed, like well thought out picture that like somebody thought of, and they like, you know, set it up, set the whole shoot up. It's very symmetrical, you know, like the colors are definitely intentional and things like that. And then this just like crazy hella loose just handwriting on top of it. Like there's so much juxtaposition on that. I know, Christine, I think that I think Rick Rubin did it, and it's going to be amazing. I'm super excited for it. They keep saying that they have no idea when it's coming out. They've been doing some live streams and stuff like that, and it's been really great. But
meow the jewels.
Yeah, it's like cat claws.
It just makes me so happy. I was like, wait, what's the difference? Hold please. Oh, Carmen, hold up. Find that other. I know it's not part of the game anymore, but the Run the Jewels is Zach De La Rocha.
Oh yeah.
It's because you've heard.
Run them jewels fast. Run them jewels fast. Run them. Fuck the slow mo.
Christine said this game went south. More guessing. We can do a couple more. You want to do a couple more?
This is what ADHD looks like when you combine it and give it no like office job for a week and a half.
Right, and we live in the same house.
And also that.
Okay, we're gonna do one more each, right?
Okay.
How bad do you think this Pearl Jam record is? Okay. Let's go with
Quinceañera. Quinceañera goes horribly wrong, Jessie Reyez. Just a boy, clearly she's not.
Is that no?
Orion's Son.
Yeah, okay.
Hold space for me.
Orion's Son. 11 songs, 32 minutes, explicit. It's like a collage of different like images to create one composition. It looks like there's like steps. Maybe these are like Roman columns or something like that. If you can make it through a full Pearl Jam song, I'll cut your grass. Fortunately, I designed the branding for Rogers and Menard Lawn Firm, and so they cut my grass for super cheap for me. So
what's the website?
thanks. It's grassmeoutside.com.
Thank you.
So yeah, what do you think this is going to sound like?
The only thing that's throwing me is the Nemakita Pa.
Does that mean don't leave me?
I can't remember what it means. It's Regina Spektor had a song. Somebody tell me.
Natalie said Jamaican Post Malone. So basically everything is going to sound like Post Malone.
But like it all does though. It all does. Everything
Lily
does.
Waters?
Yes, sure enough I can.
Thanks, girl.
Would be featured on Low
Appreciate
Chill
that.
Beat. It's oh god. Orion's Son. So it's like Zodiac stuff, mom and pop record. That's cute. I don't know. This is gonna be some like I've joked beforehand that my answer to everything was gonna be chill wave, and I want to be like this will be like trip hop.
This is trip hop or chill wave?
Trip wave.
Trip wave. Whatever that is. This is Trying from Orion. What do you guys think this is going to sound
What
like?
is this gonna sound like?
Christine, please join in.
Please, Chris.
Please guess with us. Appreciate that. All right. Chill. What did you say?
Trip wave.
Trip wave.
This ain't what I want right now. Slow up, slow down. Gravity keeping me on the ground. Wanna go up above the clouds, where you are right now, smiling down on me. Want you to know I hate it here without you. This ain't what I want right now. Slow up, slow down.
I think that's trip wave. Yes. I think you're finally correct.
Validation.
I liked that a lot. I think I might
I
jam that
listened
later
to
on this
that.
evening.
Guys, music is also
We-
gonna sound kind of the
We have the
same.
perfect lighting for an album like that.
We do.
Or we just listen to Swimming by Mac Miller.
Oh my gosh. Swimming by Mac Miller is always the correct answer.
Needs more tambourine.
A slightly louder Billie Eilish.
Dan Brown, by the way, this is really making my night. Thanks, dude.
It's making our night too.
This is making our night too. I mean, this is like, what's really cool about this whole quarantine thing is people getting like creative and, like figuring out ways to entertain themselves. And this has been awesome. I could do this every night. Like, I wish that new music came out every night so we could do like an hour of this every night.
Aww.
This would be fun.
Aww. It's like he was staying out with me, you guys. That's so cute. Romance is real.
Who's going to rewind this all and make a playlist
Sleepyhead.
because I can't find Sleepy.
Well, it all should be in a certain spot in the
Yeah.
Spotify
Look,
store.
I'll show you. Cave Town.
Do you want to put a link in there?
No.
No, he doesn't want to do that. Sorry.
Tech work. All
I
right.
think in my head, the correct answer is always like a right click. But anyway.
What are y'all's favorite go-to old school, always good albums? First of all, I love the structure of that sentence.
Old Family Force 5.
Ooh.
Cassidy.
Family Force 5. We toured with those dudes a bunch.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Put a little love in it.
Okay, so what's one of your all-time go-to? I mean, Mac Miller Swimming.
Yeah, but this is like old school, she said.
Old school? Ooh.
Yeah.
Zeppelin. Any of Zeppelin album ever. Put it on and flip it over.
Family Force 5 is definitely good. For me, it doesn't matter how bad of a mood I'm in. And I'm sure there are certain circumstances that could override this. But 99% of the time, if I'm sad or depressed or emotional about something, like I just watched Angry Birds 2 and I'm just like bawling,
He's having a moment.
or whatever, if I listen to any Beastie Boys song, I immediately feeling great.
Yeah.
License to Ill and Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Chili Peppers, those two albums for me Blue Album by Weezer. Me and Brent talked about that last night. I mean, you can't
beat that.
You're talking about 3 albums from not very far apart from each other timing wise that are literally all heaters.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people
Whatever
don't
that
write
means.
albums that are like all good songs anymore. They're like, oh, we got this one single. Let's just like fill it with a bunch of garbage.
Right. Yeah.
Outcast, Aquemini, absolutely
Yes.
stuff.
Let's
Any
just
Rush?
go back to middle school. Yeah, Rush for sure. My dad, I grew up playing quick Aimee Cake. What's the band or what's the novel thing about this artist game with my dad growing up listening to 98.1. So classic rock is my foundation.
About last like 15, 20 years. So those are too old.
Those are
I was gonna say my first CD ever was the first Boys to Men album, and that's an
Boyz II
incredible
Men?
album. ABC, BBD.
Motown Philly is
So
easily
good.
the most perfect song. Miley Cyrus bangers.
Really? That's a little
It's
guilty
not
pleasure. I don't know
it's
that I've
not a
listened
bad
to that.
album. No, I've listened to it and it's interesting.
At the Drive-In. We talked about At the Drive-In last night.
So
Nirvana.
my first CD was the iconic Middle of Nowhere by Hanson. I didn't pick that out. My sweet father picked that out for me. Also the dad that introduced me to Rush. So, 98.1 was the only thing my dad would ever listen to. It was that or 1180 WJBO on AM.
Circle Survive, Anthony Green, or Rob Zombie. That's like pretty different there, Christine. I think D-Lost in the Comatorium by Mars Volta. Worship and Tribute by Glassjaw. My favorite Glassjaw record or album, I guess, was the Coloring Book EP, which you can only listen to on YouTube, and they put out like 250 vinyls.
I have looked so hard
It's
to
the best.
find one of these things.
It's the best Glassjaw of all time.
But the physical makeup of like the way that the actual disc, it's super, super cool. We'll post a link or something.
Yeah, it's like 3 different pieces that are like on that pivot, and each one is a different color. But there was no
They're
2
all
of the same color
different.
combinations
It
in the
was
whole
wild.
250 or however many it was that they pressed.
So if you're like a vinyl collector, if you go on Discogs, then like it's always some person like ISO, and I'll give you my firstborn for this album. It's
Can't
insanity.
find it anywhere.
Cage the Elephant. See, and this is where I'm a flawed human being. I really haven't listened to like new music in the past.
Do yourself a favor and listen to some KG
15
Elephant.
years. Jack White, anything by Jack White, forever. Early White Stripes was like comfort music for me.
The Great Line album by Under Oath was incredible.
Yeah.
Some of that early Starting Line was really good. 4 Year Strong, man, you put on some 4 Year Strong and I'm bouncing, dude. I love those guys so much. We got to tour with them a couple of times. It was actually the Starting Line, 4 Year Strong, and us. And like the first show was like at a skate park in Memphis.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there still a skate park in Memphis? I think there is.
+1 for Coheed. I saw
Also
Coheed in Austin, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago with my buddy Matt. And it was Coheed
Listen, Jake.
with Mastodon and Every Time I Die. One of the best shows I've ever been to.
But there was a lot leading up to that show. It almost didn't happen.
Yeah, there was like crazy tornadoes in the area, and they were like, whatever. What happened to Red Jumpsuit? I mean, no comment.
Red Jumpsuit.
Bryan Adams' first cassette, new album recently.
Really?
4 Year Strong, yes indeed.
That's wild.
So good, man. Just the catchiest stuff.
I listened to a ton of ska growing up, and like a very specific like vein of ska. So like Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake, RX Bandits, etc. Because my big brother, God bless him.
Just Get Rich or Die Trying. We used to yell "Grot it" to each other all the time on tour. Like anytime you'd like mess something up or whatever, you're like "Grot it," which is GRODT.
Got it.
Get Richard, grot it. Not got it, grot it.
Bless your whole heart. But yeah, ska. Ska is still a happy thing. I've seen Real Big Fish a couple times live. The first time I bought my big brother, I was like 17, bought my big brother for his birthday tickets to go see them at the House of Blues in New Orleans, and we just sat there and screamed every word to every song the entire time. And we didn't get along. Like, we were not on speaking terms. We were those kind of brother and sister. But in this moment, that's when we had a thing in common. It was great.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, Fiona Apple. Fiona Apple is always happy music. Joni Mitchell is always happy music. Oh my gosh, The Killers, Samstown.
I'm not a Killers person. I think there's like two types of people. There are people who are Killers people and people who are not Killers people, and then there's another two types of people that are like people who are Pearl Jam people and people who are not Pearl Jam people.
Or then people who are Beatles people and people who are Stones people.
I'm not any of those.
Why?
I don't know.
This is the most fun part about being for real kooky. Oh, Chris Christopherson. So like singer-songwriters proper. Like I geek out real hard. I started learning how to play the ukulele recently, and it's weird because like I'll go from like trying to learn stuff by like John Prine or Joni Mitchell or whatever, and then it's like, oh wait, but there's this Childish Gambino thing over here, and it's indicative of my range. But also, our collective taste in music is very interesting. It's very strange. There's not a ton of overlap. Mother Love Bone person. Oh yeah, Sufjan Stevens. Oh my gosh, I tried learning how to play some of his stuff on ukulele, and like it's playable. It's just not very fun. Which it makes me sad, but that's all super stuff. Music schizophrenic. I understand the feeling.
I'm trying to find. There was a song, and there was a band, and I remember I had the album. I vaguely remember how the song went, but I can't remember. Do you ever listen to The Urge?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
They were a good band I was into.
Also Sublime. Also
Sublime for sure.
So much Sublime.
G Love, a lot of G Love.
Because your baby has sauce.
Jamiroquai. Give me some Jamiroquai all day long.
What?
And like I'll start popping.
I bet you would.
I'll pretend like there's like the floor's moving, and I'll do the Jamiroquai dance. You watch out, but not right now. That kind of hurt. I've had tendonitis in my knees since the quarantine started.
Riley,
what?
Do your best, Jagger.
It wasn't my best,
it's
but I have tendonitis in my knee, man.
But you do have patella tendonitis.
Thanks a lot.
I didn't do that to you.
Kind of threw me under the bus there, Gwaltney. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. I want to see Cassidy's face. I want to see Cassidy do it.
Stuff. It was like, oh man, they were an Australian band. It was like, come hold my hand for a while, run your feet.
I heard that song
the
other day. I was literally.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Who is that?
But like I had that song stuck in my head because it's throw your hands up or put your hands up, right?
Something like it's something about hands. I don't know. That doesn't sound.
We're in two different keys. We're always in two different keys. It's Shazam.
Shazam doesn't work like that.
Yes, it does.
Will you just hum shit into it?
Yes. Have you never used Shazam? Guys.
All right, go ahead. No result.
Oh no!
Let's see. This should be the whole live. Yes, we should do a night where we're just trying to remember the names of songs by humming them to each
Just
other.
remember anything.
Hold my hand for a... Wait, try again. Hold my hand for a while. Run your finger. No result.
Wait, I remember it. My first CD. Oh,
No.
It's Savage Garden. Does anybody know that song? Please, please put us out of our misery.
No one knows it. I'm telling you.
I feel like it would be in league with like Better Than Ezra and like Blind Melon and like other crunchy white dude 90s stuff.
That's not crunchy white dude. Get off
It
it.
is 1000%.
Come off it.
Rusted Root. Also that. Having said that, I did name my son Ezra, and it was not a conscious like, oh hey, I liked that band growing up and they were local. Nope. But my father will never stop saying that there's nothing better than Ezra. Love you, Daddy. It's not Pearl Jam, but God, I wish it was. I wish it was Pearl Jam. We're doing some serious Googling. Blue Oyster Cult, Toad the Wet Sprocket. Also crunchy stuff. That's fun.
Man, this is going to kill me.
All right. Well, y'all, Essence Fest is postponed. So there's that. I joined Twitter for the first time in my entire life this past week. And that's been interesting. I joined it specifically to like freak out about COVID. And it's working out great. Gin Blossoms. Oh, crap. What was the other one?
Bob would remember. Bob would 100% remember what this damn song is.
Phone a friend.
This is going to drive me insane.
It's Post Malone.
Jellyfish. It is Post Malone.
Jellyfish. Oh, please. Jelly, 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 jelly bones. I listen to twee music. Oh, what are you doing?
Trying to find it. Look at Peach in the background, just getting after it. Anyways, hardest band I ever heard was Sugar Ray. I saw Sugar Ray open for 311 post their because Sugar Ray was like a metal band.
What?
Yeah, they were originally like a heavy like hard rock band.
And then what happened? Did Mark McGrath happen?
No,
or did it happen to Mark McGrath?
He was always part of it. And they had that one song. I saw them open for 311. Fly at the Centroplex. 311. And 311 filmed the music video for Beautiful Disaster that night. That's why the other night when I said I'm pretty sure I'm in that music video is because I'm 100% in that music video. I'm just one of like 20,000 people in a crowd.
I saw 311.
Incubus did open as well, and that's the good part of the story is the tickets basically said Sugar Ray 311. And we get there. Also, mind you, this is the night before I took the entrance exam to get into Catholic high school in Baton Rouge. We go to the show. There's these guys on stage and like tuning and everything like that, and you just think they're like the techs or whatever. And they start kind of like strumming a little bit more, and you're like, that's a little much for a tech, you know what I mean? And then you just hear and it was Certain Shade of Green. I'd never heard Incubus before. Not really many people had, and they had just released Science and were like to opening for Sugar Ray and 311 on this tour. Oh my god, like greatest show I've ever seen in my entire life. Maybe not ever, but up there, top 3, top 4 or 5. But I mean that was like that shit changed me, man. I bought the t-shirt. We went back and we were watching The Box, and Limp Bizkit's like first single had just come out, and so we were watching their music videos like, oh my god, all this stuff. This is what I want to do with my life. And then I took the entrance exam for high school the next day, and I got a 98 on it and did not get accepted.
But then where did you go to high school?
I went there anyways.
There you go. I thought I was the only person that remembered the box, first of all. So it kind of, in my head, is like, maybe that was a fever dream. But then also, what tweet? I need to figure out what that
I thought they were good
called.
that night too, Jim. I think their bass player was like throwing up in a trash can, if I remember. They were solid. 311 was amazing. I love 311. So like every once in a while I'll go down this like nostalgia rabbit hole listening to like music that like got me excited about music back then. I start kind of like with Weezer, and then that goes to one thing and that goes to another thing. And then I get to 311 and I'll listen to 311, nothing but 311 for like 3 weeks straight. And I love that. I love it. But then what the best part is after that I'm like, oh, but wait, Science by Incubus. Everybody do yourself a favor and go listen to Science by Incubus tonight. It's one of the greatest albums. It's incredible.
So also, another thing.
Anyways.
No, it's 311 every single morning on the way to school. My big brother was the one that drove us. And so JP never had to be there on time. JP was a senior. I was a sophomore. And he would like sleep until the absolute last minute. And then we'd like fly into the car and then like speed down Government Street from our part of Baton Rouge and get to Baton Rouge High. Mind you, my class was on the 3rd floor. There's 3. JP's was in the gym. So he basically parked in front of the gym. And then I had to go up 2 flights of stairs. And I was always late. And I never had a good excuse. It was just my big brother got me here late. But the fun part is that we listen to 311 to and from school every day. Probably the same couple of songs. Always started with Amber. Always. Because how do you not? It's a nice little warm hug.
I kind of got over that song. I think it was like it was overplayed. You know what I mean?
1000%.
But I was also listening to like
Beautiful Disaster.
But I mean, I was doing like the 311 music, 311 grassroots. Like me and my buddy Ross Mook were like writing rap songs and like terrible Metal Zone distortion pedal guitar parts over them. Like we were going to be 311. We actually bought a turntable. So like one of us was going to be the DJ and the other person was going to play guitar and Matt Harriman was going to play drums. We're like, we got everything we need. Now we got to learn how to rap. We never wrote or finished a song. That didn't go as planned.
How?
I don't know.
How? How
Cody,
did that not work out
Cody
right?
McCarty said he also attended that same 311 Sugar Ray tour, but it was in Sacramento, and they didn't get Incubus. They got Power Man 5000. I'm so sorry, because you literally had Power Man 5000 instead of Incubus on the Science tour. And honestly, I think everything after that record is not as good.
I don't think I've seen Incubus, but I've definitely seen 311 a couple of times. My favorite 311 show ever was 311 Mud Island, Memphis, Tennessee, like muggy August day. I think we had just moved to Memphis and found out like, oh my gosh, tonight, like we have nothing to do, nothing's going on. We're a bunch of it's me, a couple of my sisters, and it's teenage girls. We don't know what to do here. It's bored, whatever.
Modest Yahoo.
And it's 311 and Modest Yahoo happened to be playing that night. I get online, take Daddy's credit card, buy tickets. He's like, no, please go. It's on us. Thank you, Daddy. But it was 311 with Modest Yahoo, and that was just one of the best shows of my life. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Make Yourself was definitely good. And it had some good tracks on there, but that was the one where they like, that's what broke them. And by break, I mean like what they got popular from. And so a lot of that stuff was just like, it was just nailed into your brain. You go back and listen to some of your songs like, man, I know every word of this song and I haven't listened to it in 15 years. You know what I mean?
His vocals are insane.
And Christine, I don't think that Power Man 5000 is bad. I used to like listening to them. I remember their music videos were hilarious. I think there was a rumor, and it may have been true, that like the singer was like Cher's son or something like that. But Power Man 5000 will never ever be as good as Incubus from the Science days was. Casey.
He has a nice tour manager. Okay, so the next time that I saw Modest Yahoo, I do have 5 siblings. Modest Yahoo was touring with this guy, Nassan Zand. Wait, stop, pause. Let me start the story over again. I was super excited. I was going to Minglewood Hall in Memphis to go see Modest Yahoo. Super stoked. But he was playing with this guy that I'd never heard of called Les Claypool. And that was just was not in my universe. And I got there and I was hanging out with the one friend that I had. And this gnarly dude that had driven in from Arkansas said, "Sweetheart," I was like, "I just feel like Modesty." I was just like, it's just so much light. And baby 20-something-year-old me, he's like, "Sweetheart, it's about to go from real light to real dark." And it did. Les Claypool is demented. Dan
Brand, thanks for joining us, man. Have a great night.
Yeah, you were so much fun. Thanks.
It's probably the most legitimate human interaction of all day since my 2-year-old looked me in the eyes from the potty and said, "I pooped."
Yay! Good job, buddy.
Nice.
It's a good moment because at least it's not like coming from another room. I pooped.
Right.
That's never fun.
At least it was coming from where it was supposed to come from, right?
Yeah. Appropriate setting always matters.
Man, this was fun. You want to do this again next week?
Oh, we should totally do that.
Cool. You guys want to join us next week when we do the Spotify game featuring the lovely Aimee Cake? We're going to do that.
That's what he calls me. He calls me Aimee Cake. My name is Aimee Cake, but he calls me Cake. It's cute.
It is cute.
It's cute.
It's hella cute. I'm a freaking cute person. You're a freaking cute person.
It's like you should be in branding.
Hey. Maybe. Cool. Well, we're going to do this again next week. I'm going to probably, I think, play some songs tomorrow, or I'm going to get the Thomas Bros in on a Zoom, and we're going to talk about some of their new music and some of the Andy Ford stuff. So that'll either be tomorrow night or Sunday night. But yeah, this was fun. Go team.
Yay, go team.
Thanks,
Perfect
guys.
high five.
Have a
Every
great
time.
night. We love you.
Bye. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Stupid idiot.